everybody, and welcome to my channel for scrapbooking ink and feathers. This is my very first video, so hopefully it all goes without a hiccup. I'm going to be using the Felicity Jane Gina kit today, and I've chosen this great yellow background paper. It kind of reminded me of the wattle colour here in Australia, and so I decided to print this cut file on the green, as that kind of reminded me of the eucalyptus colour. So I thought they went really nicely together, the green and gold. So I've cut my cut file out. It didn't cut very well, so I'm going to move it around and disguise that with some floral elements that you'll see here. These florals I fussy cut out of one of the papers in the Gina kit. Absolutely beautiful paper, and they've come out really well, so I'll probably use those up in that top right hand corner and down in the bottom left hand corner. That's my photo I'll be using today, and I'm going to be using some goodies from the embellishments from the kit and the stamp set as well. So let's get started. So first up, I'm going to add a little bit of Heidi Swap's gold colour shine just under where those floral elements will be going. So up in the top right and the bottom left. And I'm adding a little bit of Mr. Huey's Pinstripe, which is a charcoal colour, but once it dries it goes almost an olive green, so it ties in quite nicely, and I'm only adding a little bit of that. So I'm going to dry that with my heat tool and clean up any overspray. Now I'm going to also glue down that cut file in a moment, but I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue because I want to sew around that with my sewing machine. So I'm just putting a few little dots of glue just so it sits nicely and doesn't move once I go through the machine with it. So I'm just going to pop that on now and get that in the right position. There we go. And clean up any bits of glue, and then I'm going to sew around the middle of that wreath with my machine, and I go around this 3 times. So I'm just going to pull the threads through to the back so they're nice and neat, and stick them down with some washi tape. And now we can start sticking on those floral elements. Now I started with just sticking them flat to the layout, and then I added some dimension you'll see here in a minute. So I just popped a few down just with glue tape, both up in the top right and the bottom left. And then I used here some foam dots, you'll see in a moment, just to give a little bit more dimension so they didn't get all lost in amongst each other. And then what I actually did as well was put just a couple up on double the foam dots, so you've got 3 different layers of florals there just for that extra dimension. It gives a little bit of shadowing and just makes them pop a little bit more against the background. I'm just finishing up there and getting those backs off the foam dots, which were a bit fiddly. And popping them down. The last couple now. I'm just cleaning up all that backing paper, and then I can start working on my photo. So sorry about the glare on the photo there, but I just felt the photo looked a bit flat straight on the background. So I'm going to find some paper from the kit, and I ended up deciding to go with that diagonal stripe. I'm going to use a really thin border around my photo, and I have some trouble here with my cutting machine. Got a bit stuck, so I've cut that out. I just rough up the edges a little bit. Give it a bit more texture and dimension, and I'm going to adhere that to my page with my ATG glue gun in a moment, but I'm just having a quick look through the rest of the chipboard pieces that come with the kit, and I decided to add maybe 1 or 2 banners, the aqua and the yellow I've pulled out, and some chipboard hearts. So I've got some pale blue ones there, a black outline one, and a gold stripe. And I've also grabbed that details chipboard piece as well, which I'm actually going to cut down. So I'm going to use the top strip that says details up in that top left corner of the photo. And I'm just going to adhere that with my tiny attacher. Sorry, I'm off screen a bit there. But I just staple that on. And then I'm going to use the bottom half of that chipboard piece down the bottom right corner of the photo, where I'm going to add some journaling later on. I'm just working out where I want those chipboard hearts. I'm happy with those there, and I'm going to use that yellow banner with some stamping. So I decided to use the Just Happy stamp because this photo's of my daughter and she just loves animals, all kinds of animals, and here she is with these little baby chicks. And so I know she's absolutely happy playing with those. So Just Happy is going to be stamped in Stays On ink. Just making sure I get a good impression. I'm going to add that to that chipboard banner. I wasn't very happy with my stamping, but I'm going to go with it. So I'll pop that back and clean up. I think I was just wondering if I was going to use any more stamps, but I decided that was it. And now I'm just going to adhere down those hearts with a bit of glue and that banner with a bit of tape runner. And here's where I stick down my photo with my ATG gun, which I had problems with. So I just fix that up and get that stuck down. And I decided for the journaling spot just to staple it. That'll hold there. I was going to add a little bit of thread, yellow thread behind the hearts, the 2 larger hearts, but it didn't really pop. You couldn't really notice it, so I decided against that. I'm just going to glue those down with my Scotch glue. And instead of using the thread, I decide in a moment to use some little puffy hearts that we got a few kits ago in the Felicity Jane kits. I can't remember which one it was, but I used some little mint coloured hearts and some little black and white striped puffy hearts. You'll see that soon. I'm also going to use some of the Gina puffy stickers. That one there that says here, that's going to go up with the details banner. And I've got this little dark green puffy tag that I'm just adding some thicker string to. And that's going to go down beside my journaling box, just there. Okay, here's those puffy hearts. just adding to help make the chipboard hearts pop a bit more from those florals so you can see them. And on to my journaling. So I'm just recording about how my daughter loves all creatures. And even though we were at Taronga Zoo in Sydney, which is amazing, and she had all these other exotic animals to look at, she still spent time looking at your everyday animals that she sees all the time, such as these little chickens. And then I realised that little leaf piece was covering my journaling, so I'm just going to snip that off. And that's my layout. Thank you for watching. Here's some close-up still pictures. And see you soon.